Roll out the red carpet and get out your acceptance speech because we have your Backstage Pass to Hollywood. Backstage Pass starts now.
In 5,
4.
3, 2,
Are you ready?
Hey Explorers, welcome to Backstage Asks, Pass, where we give you the scoop on all things entertainment. My name is Kayla McCrae.
And my name is Lucas Alvin, but you probably already knew that.
This episode, we've got a lot to get into, so let's start with movie news. Good news for Tom Hanks fans, or Forrest Gump fans. Hanks and Robin Wright, the two stars of Forrest Gump, are back again, starring in another movie together. That's right. This film, titled Here, based off the 2014 graphic novel of the same name and directed by Back to the Future director Robert Zemeckis, has finally been released on November 1st. This film is quite unique as it takes place in the same house, in the same room, about the same family throughout the years, for not most of, if not the entire film. It was a very ambitious project. On top of the film taking place in the same setting, de-aging technology was also used on Hanks and Wright themselves, instead of casting actors to play their younger selves during the earlier parts of their characters' lives. This all led to mixed reviews about the film, but you'll just have to see for yourself. The film is playing in theaters now.
I was sitting down eating dinner the other day, and I saw a weird-looking cinematic ad that I assumed was for a car commercial. I assumed poorly. The ad revealed itself to be a trailer for a new Christmas movie coming out titled Red One. This film follows a bizarre, yet familiar plot. Essentially, Santa Claus gets kidnapped from North Pole by some villain, and the North Pole's head of security, played by Dwayne Johnson, teams up with an infamous world-renowned bounty hunter, played by Chris Evans, to travel the world on their mission to rescue Santa and save Christmas. Everything about this just looks like your stereotypical family-friendly, oh no, we gotta save Christmas and make goofy little jokes type of film. And honestly, I'm all for that. However, the clip of the CGI snowman fight from the trailer looked a little questionable with how it was animated, but I wouldn't expect anything state-of-the-art from a project like this anyway. You can check out Red One when it hits theaters November 15th.
A little pivot from spooky season, from Christmas back to spooky season, but this is pretty big news for scary movie fans, as in the cult classic horror film parody franchise by the Wayans Bros. A new entry into the scary movie cinematic universe has been announced. It's in partnership with Miramax and Paramount, and set to start filming in 2025. Little else is known, however, and people are left wondering if OG cast members like Anna Faris are set to return, and which iconic horror films will be parodied in this installment. The same way the movies Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer were parodied in the original film. We'll just have to wait and see.
I feel like I don't rant enough about pro wrestling as much as I should on Backstage Pass, and in all honesty, that's probably for the best. But this time is going to be an exception. After wrestling his 25th anniversary match, New Japan Pro Wrestling president and longtime wrestler Hiroshi Tanahashi announced his retirement, which will take place January 4th, 2026 at Wrestle Kingdom 20. This announcement sent shockwaves all across the international wrestling scene, as Tanahashi was one of the top stars that really helped NJPW gain popularity and expand Japanese pro wrestling into the West. Many fans consider him to be the Japanese equivalent of John Cena, who's also recently announced his retirement from wrestling. While it is sad to see Tanahashi go on his final tours and wrestle his last matches, it should be exciting to see what the future of Japanese wrestling looks like, with so many young and upcoming stars on the rise. Oh, by the way, if anyone would like to donate money for me to go see his retirement match in 2026, any amount is appreciated.
You know what other highly anticipated movie is about to break the internet and the box office? Wicked the Movie Musical. Here to talk about the film and the fanfare leading up to it is our co-host Patrick O'Hara. Take it away, Patrick.
Are people born wicked, or do they have wickedness thrust upon them? Is a question that's been up for debate since 1939. Fortunately, that question will finally be answered as Universal's Wicked hits the big screens on November 22nd. Hello, fellow Aussians and fellow explorers. My name is Patrick O'Hara, and if you couldn't tell, I'm super excited for Wicked. So join me for a walk down the yellow brick road as we talk all things Wicked. The upcoming musical to film adaptation will detail the life and times of the Wicked Witch of the West before Dorothy dropped in. It will provide insight on how the Wicked Witch, who is best known as Elphaba, played by Cynthia Erivo, met the Good Witch of the South, Glinda, who was played by Ariana Grande. Notably, the two met while attending the infamous Shiz University. While the two are complete polar opposites and loathe one another entirely, they soon learn to understand each other and build a very special friendship that defies gravity. The story also introduces us to the ever-so-captivating Fiyero, who is played by Jonathan Bailey, the treacherous Madame Morrible, played by Michelle Yeoh, and the wonderful wizard himself, played by Jeff Goldblum. While these three are big contenders for the driving plot, we will also be introduced to characters like Bach, who is played by Ethan Slater, and Marissa Bode as Nessa Rose, the sister of Elphaba, who you may know as the Wicked Witch of the East, who, you know, the one who got a house dropped on her in the 1939 film. The story will also bring all of these wonderful characters together for a 2-hour and 40-minute film with a ton of musical moments, including performance of Defying Gravity, Popular, Dancing Through Life, and so many more. It's gonna be awesome. Gearing up for the film's release, the Wicked social media pages have been sharing weekly videos featuring exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the making of the film. What stood out most to me was two things. First, that all of the sets were physically real and most of the effects were practical. Even the mechanical Wizard of Oz talking head and all, and especially the Emerald City, of course. Not only that, but Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo performed every single song live when filming, even during intense stunts. The two claimed that they insisted on doing so as a way to pay respect to all the Glindas and Elphabas who stepped foot on the Broadway stage before them. So far, the marketing for this film has convinced me that pink goes good with green, or goes well with green. The cast has embarked on their official press tour amid the movie's release month. On October 28th, Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande attended an early screening of the film in New York City. However, they weren't alone. They were joined by current and previous members of the Broadway productions of Wicked itself, primarily those who starred as Glinda and Elphaba. There was one member specifically that brought Grande to tears while introducing the film to the audience, and that was Kristen Chenoweth. For those unfamiliar, Chenoweth portrayed Glinda of Upland in the original production of the Broadway musical in 2003. The two had met when Grande was just 10 years old and had the privilege of meeting the cast of Wicked backstage. Since then, she has been a mentor and friend of Grande's for many years. So, for the two, it was like a full circle moment. Then, on November 3rd, the entire main cast traveled over the rainbow to Sydney, Australia. They made their appearances on the Yellow Brick Road for fan greetings and signings. Firstly, Cynthia Erivo arrived in an all-black dress, paying homage to Margaret Hamilton's Wicked Witch costume in the 1939 film. The dress reminded me of a witch hat we are so familiar with. Additionally, Ariana Grande arrived in a pink gown that paid homage to Billie Burke, who portrayed Glinda in the 1939 classic. Everything from the butterflies to the shimmer in the stars, she fully embraced Glinda. Before the film releases, there will be what is called a Wicked Week on the Today Show. It begins November 11th and will feature different stars and surprises in promotion of the film for the entire week. Additionally, on November 19th, NBC will be premiering a special titled Defying Gravity, The Curtain Rises on Wicked. The program will include video diaries from the cast, filming secrets, and an exclusive look at scenes from the film. According to Variety, the special was filmed on the actual set, and most of the commercials that are set to air during the program will be, quote, Wicked-inspired content from brands like Lexus, Target, and more. The special will air next day on Peacock. And just like that, our journey down the Yellow Brick Road comes to an end. You can check out Wicked Part 1, rated PG, in theaters November 22nd. Part 2 of Wicked is set to release November 21st of 2025. Now, let's click our heels together 3 times and head back to the studio with Lucas and Kayla.
Thanks, Patrick. I'm looking forward to seeing Wicked in theaters as well. All this movie musical talk is making me want to move on to our music section. So, missed the Olivia Rodrigo Guts Tour phenomenon? Well, you're in luck. The Guts Tour just made a pit stop to Netflix. That's right, similar to Taylor Swift's Eras Tour movie and Beyoncé's Renaissance movie, Olivia Rodrigo has joined the train with a Guts Tour special. The movie dropped on streaming platform Netflix on August 29th. Now all of Olivia's fans have a chance to to live the Guts Tour dream beyond the stage, like me. As a self-proclaimed Olivia fan who would have loved to go to the Guts Tour if given the chance, I might have to check this one out. Another popular pop girlie that's getting her moment to shine on Netflix is Sabrina Carpenter. Except instead of a concert special of her short and sweet tour, it's a Christmas special. A Nonsense Christmas will be streaming on Netflix on December 6th. Back in September, Sabrina posted a cheeky promo on her Instagram for the special, where she donned her classic sparkly red bodysuit with black furry Santa boots. If you love Sabrina and the holiday season, mark your calendars for December 6th.
I'm pulling out all the weird Lucas stories this episode. I dare say it's very Lucas core of me. The Japanese musician Hyde recently released his newest album titled Hide Inside, which is an amazing rhyme, I might add. The tracklist contains 8 songs that were previously released and 5 new songs for listeners to jam out to. An interesting thing to add is how the songs on this album were composed by musicians from Japan and around the world, which is a cool element I've seen a lot recently from Hyde and other Japanese artists. He is also touring the album on his Hide Inside Live 2024 World Tour, visiting all around Asia and even making stops performing in Los Angeles and Brooklyn come late November. Will I be attending any of these shows, you might ask? The answer is no. Brooklyn is too far and I have no money. Kayla, please change the subject.
Wish granted. Megan Thee Stallion joins the list of music artists having specials with her documentary titled Megan Thee Stallion in Her Words. This documentary details Megan's controversies and traumas throughout the years, like the Tory Lanez trial, her mother's death in 2019, constant internet scrutiny, and her mental health struggles. From all of this, giving her a chance to speak her truth and clear the air. It's definitely more of a serious and personal account, unlike the other music artist specials. The documentary is now streaming on Amazon Prime Video.
The Japanese band Duran Gray will also be coming to Los Angeles. This marks their first time touring North America since 2019. They will be performing older albums mixed with new songs on their tour titled Tour 25, Who Is This Hell For? They will be highlighting the albums Vulgar on April 8th and Withering to Death on April 9th. Fun fact, these are actually my 2 favorite albums by the band. The band will also be performing on April 12th at the Sick New World Festival in Las Vegas, where they will be performing with the same lineup with names such as Linkin Park and Metallica. Will I be attending these shows? The answer remains the same. No, the West Coast is too far, and I have no money. Kayla, please change the subject before I go cry.
To be honest, Lucas, I might cry too, because I never got a chance to see the Chromacopia truck in person before it left Philly. What's Chromacopia, you might be asking? Well, it's Tyler, the Creator's new album, of course. The album released on October 28th to enormous fanfare, as it's been 3 years since his last album titled Call Me If You Get Lost released. To promote the album, a dark moss green truck with the album title printed on the side has been making its way across the country, including right here in Philly. From my perspective, it seemed to leave just as soon as it arrived, however. The same day I learned about it, I learned from a friend that it had just left. Bummer, but at least I know that Tyler will be coming back to Philly for the Chromacopia tour in 2025. Maybe if you missed the Chromacopia bus, you can catch him on tour.
In other Lucas Core news, the pro wrestler and overnight chart-topping musician Joe Hendry has announced that he is working on a Christmas song. On a video on X, formerly known as Twitter, Hendry said, quote, "We don't just want number 4. We don't want just number 1. We want Christmas number 1. And why don't we raise some money for amazing charities at the same time?" End quote. While no release date has been announced yet, I'm extremely excited to listen to the songs when it releases. Oh, and on a final note, we believe in Joe Hendry.
Your artist's favorite artist has finally made headlines once again. That's right, Chappell Roan has made waves with her debut performance on Saturday Night Live. According to her Instagram, this has been a lifelong goal of hers, as she posted a tweet of hers from 2011 saying that I'm determined to be on SNL. To the delight of fans, Chappell also performed a brand new, never-before-heard song of hers, a country Dolly Parton-esque song called The Giver, which is about how women know how to canoodle each other better than men do. paired with another post on her Instagram with the caption, "Album kind of popped off, but it's time to release a hot new bombshell into the villa. Could this be a sign of a new album on the way? We'll have to sit tight and see. But as the resident Backstage Pass Chappell fan, I am excited." Now, enough yapping about music news. Let's go see what our fellow LaSallians had to say about their favorite fall season songs on this installment of Backstage Asks.
So I'm not sure if I'm having a fever dream because I'm having all these assignments and hard due dates, but why is everyone dressed up? It's November. I don't think it's Halloween.
What if we told you that it is?
But it's November.
It is.
What?
It's okay. Nothing is gonna make sense to you.
Well, at least can I make sense of what question are we asking?
Well, it is still fall, so we decided to set out and ask what song reminds you most of fall.
Let's get down to it, shall we?
Hey Kiana, welcome back to Backstage Asks. So, what I want to ask you is, what is a song that reminds you of the fall season, or what is your favorite fall song?
The first thing that comes to mind when I think of fall is the Michael Myers Halloween theme song.
Hey, aren't you that guy from LTV News?
I am. Check out LTV News. We film every other Monday.
Backstage Pass is still better. What song reminds you most of fall?
I would say the song that best reminds me of fall is probably California Dreamin' by Mamas and Papas.
Hello there, what is your name?
Tyler McCann.
So today's question is, what song reminds you most of fall?
Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Hi, what's your name?
Sophia.
What song reminds you of fall?
Diva Doobie, Take a Bite.
Hello, what is your name?
Kajaya.
What is your favorite fall song or song that reminds you most of fall?
Probably, it's a new release song. It's called Rockman by McGee. He's like a very small artist, but yeah, that's my favorite one.
Hello Issa, welcome back to Backstage Asks. So our question for today is, what song reminds you most of fall?
Let Me Say a Little Bit by Leaky Lee.
Hi, what's your name?
My name is Zainab.
So we want to ask you, what's your favorite fall song, or if you don't have one, what song have you been listening to lately?
My favorite fall song is Fall by Davido. It's not really about fall, but it's called fall, so it works.
Hello, what is your name?
I don't need no name.
I think you're swallowing the mic, but anyways, what is your favorite fall song?
My favorite fall song is Windmills on Your Mind by Alyssa Moyet.
Hello there, what is your name?
Kanaya.
What song reminds you most of the fall season?
Michael Jackson's Remember the Time.
Hello there, what is your name?
Mr. Rooster.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Rooster. How are you doing today?
Doing very good, very good, very good.
What are your thoughts on Lucas eating dino nuggets?
Oh, wow, that's what we do now?
I'm sorry.
Anyways, it is officially fall. What is a song that reminds you most of fall?
Oh, any song off of Igor from Tyler the Creator. Any song off of there.
I would like to publicly apologize for eating dino chicken nuggies. I will not do it again. Actually, that's a lie. I will do it again. Dino chicken nuggies are absolutely amazing.
Shame. Shame!
Hello, what is your name?
Hey, I'm Maddie. I used to be the dinosaur, but in a Halloween safety video, but the dinosaur is dead. It is now extinct.
R.I.P. Dino. You will be missed. What is your favorite fall song?
Calling All the Monsters by China McLean. That always reminds me of fall because I love that song. She's like the Mariah Carey of Halloween.
Those are some great responses, but I have to ask, what are your favorite fall songs? Patrick?
Well, mine is Wildfire by Anthony Russo.
Kayla?
I have so many songs that I like to listen to for the fall season, but I'm gonna say two of them. The first one is Paper Bag by Fiona Apple, and the second one is Kiss Me by Sixpence None the Richer.
My favorite is Au revoir by Malice Misère. It's a Japanese visual K band. You know how it goes. Anyway, I still don't understand. It's not Halloween, it's November. But Patrick, you wanted to say something?
I wanted to say that it's Halloween every day. Be who you are!
But it's November! Anyway, let's go back to the studio with us.
Thanks to all of our fellow explorers who participated. Looks like we might have to make another playlist for fall songs instead of just spooky songs. Now let's talk about everything else that's going on in the entertainment world. Come on, Lucas, spill the tea.
I don't want to spill tea. That'd be such a waste. But if you want some celeb drama, I got you covered. The film Joker: Folie à Deux hasn't really been receiving the best publicity. Well, in an interview, lead actor Joaquin Phoenix said that Christopher Nolan had approached him to play the Joker in the 2008 Batman film titled The Dark Knight. Phoenix turned down the role, explaining in an interview, quote, "My feeling was I shouldn't do this, but maybe he also was like, he's not the guy," end quote. The role of Joker was then casted as Heath Ledger, who went on to posthumously win an Oscar for the role. I still find it interesting that Phoenix chose to share this information now, but I won't jump into any conclusions.
Were you aware that Channing Tatum and Zoe Kravitz were dating? I wasn't, which made it all the more surprising to learn that they've recently called off their engagement and broke up after 3 years. This news comes after their film Blink Twice was released to the public back in September, as well as after they announced a new film they're in together titled Alpha Gang. How have I gone this whole time not knowing they were an item? I'm a Backstage Pass host for Pete's sake.
To follow up on a story from a few episodes back, the Japanese musician Yoshiki successfully completed his third neck surgery on October 8th. Following the operation, he posted a picture of himself to Instagram saying, quote, "I woke up," end quote. He also went on to thank fans for their support. We at Backstage Pass would like to wish Yoshiki a healthy recovery.
With this election season, there have been so many rallies and pop-ups happening in Philly. Last week, there was a Party to the Polls show at Love Park with rapper Quavo and childhood scientist icon Bill Nye, a rally at Temple University's Leocore Center featuring Bruce Springsteen and Barack Obama, and a final rally/concert at the Art Museum steps from the Harris campaign featuring The Roots, Lady Gaga, Oprah Winfrey, and the Vice President herself on November 4th. Philly has been quite the hotspot for these concerts, encouraging folks to register to vote. Naturally so, given our history. We here at Backstage Pass hope you went out to vote too. We know we did.
In video game news, Nintendo dropped the trailer for Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition on October 29th. This game, Earth has been destroyed after getting struck by 2 alien races. The remaining survivors from Earth took to the spaceship, the USS White Whale, which crashed on the planet Mira, inhabited by many dangerous creatures. As a member of the organization Blade, your character must help prevent the extinction of humans with the assistance of large robot suits named Skells, of course. The re-release of this 2015 Wii U game contains updated graphics and new story elements. I remember this game amazing me as a kid with its immersive graphics, captivating story, and incredible soundtrack. Unfortunately, I've never been able to beat it because the gameplay often confused me as a kid. However, I don't think adult Lucas will have that issue, hopefully, but the game will release on Nintendo Switch March 20th, 2025.
I know I already briefly talked about Saturday Night Live, but we've got to talk about this. Can you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris was on this past episode? Social media has been buzzing with images of her and Maya Rudolph, the actress who portrays Kamala on the show. An Instagram reel was even posted of them with the popular audio of YouTubers Danny Gonzalez and Drew Gooden singing, quote, "I am Drew, I am Danny, and we are not the same person." Rudolph and Harris sure do look like the same person to me.
I think Kayla and I have been gabbing for too long, so let's hand things off to someone who's a little more qualified in that area, and with Backstage Pass's beloved intern, Gabrielle Savage, who talks about Marvel's Blade in the first ever edition of Gabbing with Gabby.
I'm Gabrielle, but you can just call me Gabby, and I'm going to collect a few minutes of your time by gabbing about the things I find interesting. Recently, Marvel Studios announced that the Blade reboot featuring Mahershala Ali, scheduled to release in November 2025, will be delayed indefinitely due to numerous setbacks in the movie's production. The movie's announcement at the 2019 San Diego Comic-Con excited comic book fans and Blade fans alike. But despite the disappointing news, fans are not starved of Blade content, and I'm here to provide some recommendations. The first adaptation I will always recommend is the original 1998 Blade trilogy with Leslie Snipes. You simply can't be a Blade fan without having seen the Blade trilogy once, preferably the first and second movies. We don't talk about the third. People only watch Trinity just to say that they watched it. Now, I could leave their recommendations at that, but I like to recommend a lesser-known Blade adaptation, and I'm talking about the 2006 TV show with Kurt Sticky Fingers Jones. I want to get the spotlight to Blade, the animated series. Yes, Blade has an anime, and let me provide some backstory. In 2010, Marvel Entertainment and anime studio Madhouse collaborated to create Marvel Anime, an anthology series reimagining Marvel heroes for its Japanese audience via 4 12-episode series. The 4 chosen heroes were Iron Man, Wolverine, X-Men, and Blade. The series was aired in the respective order from October 2010 to December 2011 in Japan, and July 2011 to April 2012 in the United States. The entire series having English subtitles and English dub over. The entire anthology is pretty good, and I recommend watching the entire series, but we're going to focus on the last in the lineup, Blade, which is the darkest and bloodiest of the 4 shows, a perfect fit for an R-rated anti-hero like Blade. The story follows Eric Brooks, aka Blade, a vampire hunter who other vampires call the Daywalker, a half-human, half-vampire who has all the vampire strengths while being immune to sunlight. His ultimate mission is to kill the 4-fanged vampire, Deacon Frost. the man responsible for his mother's death, and fathering his vampire abilities while his mother's pregnant with him. A vampire-operated nightclub brings Blade to Japan, where the vampires in Asia are working for an existence, an organization created and ruled by Frost. Existence has Blade and his newest companion, Makoto, traveling across Asia to stop Existence and Frost's plan for world domination. The story follows a problem of a week format, with Blade and Makoto going to a new location. Existence has an operation set up, and Blade kills the overseeing vampire before moving on to the next location. Within the formulaic format, the show showcases several breeds of vampires rarely depicted in vampire media, with lots of the vampires being based on Asian legends of bloodsuckers. I use bloodsuckers instead of vampire because while every vampire is a bloodsucker, not every bloodsucker is a vampire. In the show, we see the Japanese water tigers, the Filipino Mandurogo and the Manalanga, the Indonesian Sunda Bolong, and the Malaysian Polong. Speaking of characters, let's talk about the cast. The canon characters are composites of various Blade properties from the movies, the TV show, and the comic books. Our protagonist Blade has the appearance of his 2006 counterpart, but the personality of his 1998 counterpart, favoring to keep his motions locked behind a stoic mask instead of expressing them, well until Frost walks into his general line of sight. However, he's shown to be more compassionate than his 1998 counterpart. We also see more of Blade's backstory. When he wasn't the calculated hunter Blade and just Arab Book struggling to survive as a half-breed, raised by his mother's friends in London until they were killed when he was 10. And he was pretty much on his own until he was found by Noah Van Helsing in his teens. We also see him struggle with his vampire heritage, because while he's fine today, the night brings out his blood cravings to the max, to the point he has to be chained down some nights. Luckily, Van Helsing has an anti-venom that keeps the cravings at bay. Noah Van Helsing, yes, from the same Van Helsing family, is an older vampire hunter, and he's shown to be more lighthearted than his 1998 counterpart, Whistler. He's both a mentor and father figure to Blade, having taken him when he was young, providing him with weaponry and the anti-venom. Our antagonist, Deacon Frost, is modeled after his comic book appearance, but his rebellious nature is almost similar to his 1998 counterpart, still being an overall menace and rebel against the traditional pure-blood vampire high council. Frost synthesized his own version of the vampire venom and turned himself into a vampire, resulting in the Four-Fang mutation, and creates Existence to kill all the pure-blood vampires as an act of revenge and usher in a new generation of mutated vampires, with Blade being the key to that dream. The show also has a range of original characters, the main one being Makoto, a fellow vampire hunter and Blade's companion. We're introduced to Makoto and her father, Hayata, when they are raiding the same nightclub as Blade. Frost turns Hayata into a vampire, and right when Hayata is about to kill his daughter, Blade kills him to physically save Makoto and spare her the emotional pain. However, Makoto doesn't see it that way, and she spends the first few episodes wanting to kill Blade in revenge. But after Van Helsing's insight and working with Blade, Makoto comes to understand him and teams up with him to take down Frost, a man that's taken away both their parents. Oh, there's also the third addition to the team, Thorn, Van Helsing's trained dog with silver-filled teeth. He's a good boy. Another noteworthy character is Kikyo Mikage, a stoic mutant swordsman and mercenary who trained under the same swordsmanship as Blade. While it's clearly shown he's a skilled swordsman in not one, but two shows in the anthology, being a challenging opponent for both Blade and Wolverine, the man has an inferiority complex, feeling that he needs to kill Blade to prove he's worthy more to himself than everyone else. All in all, Blade, the anime series, is a worthwhile show that any Blade fan should add to their watch list. I promise you won't be disappointed. I'm Gabrielle, and thanks for listening to me gab about the small things.
Thanks, Gabby. I actually don't know a whole lot about Blade, so I'll totally have to dive right in and check out everything you mentioned. Well, I think that ends our show here for today. But don't worry, there's a special place you can keep up with us, social media.
Get out your phone and follow us on these various platforms seen on your screen. Give us a follow, leave a comment, and let us know if you have any suggestions. Plus, you can check out this week's segment of Backstage Asks only on our Instagram, along with some great behind-the-scenes content. So make sure you're following us. If you don't, we'll cry. Thank you all for an incredible show. I'm Kayla McCrae.
And I'm Lucas Alvin. From all of us here at Backstage Pass, we'll see you next time.